James Gunn has apparently confirmed the timeline for what's been going on with the DCU. Now, this is coming from Superhero Hype. It says Superman director James Gunn has recently confirmed the DCU timeline by sharing the order of release for their projects that are coming in the future. After taking over the position of co-CEO and chairman with Peter Safran, he conveyed that the rebooted DC's first chapter will be titled Gods and Monsters. They shared in a press conference back in 2023 that they plan to create a proper cinematic universe at DC with a 2-chapter plan. The DCU's timeline follows release order with Superman and other projects. So it says the Suicide Squad director recently shared information about the DCU timeline with the chronological order in which the projects release in the future. A user on Threads asked Gunn on HBO Max, will you create a DCU timeline like how Disney Plus has one for the MCU so you can watch in chronological order? To this he replied, as of now, it's basically as the movies and shows come out. Although, of course, some of these feature flashbacks, Creature Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker, Lanterns, Supergirl. Moreover, Blue Beetle, which came out in 2023, is also part of the DCU timeline as confirmed by Gunn previously. In a Threads post in September 2023, he was questioned by a fan about whether Blue Beetle is canon in the DCU. Gunn addressed these doubts and replied, Zolo will continue playing Blue Beetle in the DCU, as Viola Davis will Amanda Waller, and John Cena will Peacemaker. Moreover, according to a report by Collider, while announcing the plans for the DCU in January 23, Gunn stated that they are not doing what some TV shows have done. We're not making it up as we go along. He further added that he and Safran have crafted an 8 to 10 year plan for DCU, which is the 2 chapters. There's an ending to our basic story that we tell there, but it's not the ending of the universe. So, let me ask you, Joe. Does this make sense to you? Is it clear enough for you? Is it clear enough, do you think, for the audience?
Oh, I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's the job of any movie. It is the job of any movie or any TV show to let the audience know what they need to know. So if something is taking place in another time period, it's the job of that project to let us know that. So I think it just makes sense that you go into all these projects assuming that they're happening in a sequential order, unless they tell you otherwise. And I think they will. If it says in the bottom of the corner of the screen, 1942, well, then you know this isn't taking place after Superman.
Yeah. Exactly. And again, honestly, this is pretty much what Marvel did. And I know, oh no, comparing it to Marvel, how dare you? Oh! I mean, it's basically what Marvel did. I mean, every movie, basically, with the exception of Captain America, took place in pretty much order. You know, I mean, when they first started. And that makes sense. I mean, you do that just to make it simple for the people jumping in the beginning. Plus, it's simple for the storytellers. Like, let's just make it as easy as possible, and you keep it going just as easy as you can do it. And then once you get, 6, 7 deep, projects deep, then you can start saying, you know what, this would be really cool as a period piece prior to everything. This would be really cool if this actually happened between Superman and Peacemaker, or Superman and this movie. This would be cool if this happened here. And then you can go back after so long and do that. That way, people are already invested. They know the universe, and it's easier for them to accept those types of things happening. So I think it is a really good idea. And when it comes to Blue Beetle, again, he even as it says here, they try to sit here and say Blue Beetle, which came out in 2023, is also part of the DCU timeline, confirmed by Gunn. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say the Blue Beetle movie is canon. He says Zolo's Blue Beetle will be in the DCU. He doesn't say the Blue Beetle movie. He's never said the Blue Beetle movie is part of the DCU. All he has ever said is that Zolo's Blue Beetle is in the DCU. He said Zolo's Blue Beetle is the first character in the DCU. Zolo's Blue Beetle will be in the DCU. That's all he's ever said. He's never said. I think I've actually remember him saying that the first movie in the DCU is Superman. because if Blue Beetle was part of the DCU, that would have been the first movie in the DCU.
Well,
So
I keep telling everybody we're looking at a Flashpoint situation. Flash in Flashpoint changed the timeline. Some things stayed the same, some things didn't. There were little changes. We're in a situation now where any characters he wants to bring back, whether it be Peacemaker, whether it be Blue Beetle, we're not beholden to the canon that went before. He can pick and choose.
Mm-hmm.
He could be like, this happened. He really, I'm trying to remember something from the Blue Beetle movie. He really did this thing from the Blue Beetle movie. That happened. But something he doesn't like, he can write it out if he wants.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, we'll see how it happens. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm just, saying, like, a lot of people, look, I love the Blue Beetle movie, and I think the Blue Beetle movie could actually fit into the DCU. I think it could with no issues. Even if they want to say, oh, actually, this Blue Beetle movie actually took place, you slide that in, bloop, right here after Supergirl. Oh, there you go. Fits. There, done and done. Like, whatever. That's fine with me. I like the movie. Make it fit wherever. But it is what it is. Like, I'm fine with however he handles it. Like I said, my problem, I've had two problems. My two biggest problems with James Gunn since he's taken over were, one, I think he should have just rebooted everything from the beginning. Even though I like Zolo, even though I like the Blue Beetle movie, I think, look, he should have just said, you know what? Sorry, Zolo, you did great. Unfortunately, we have to move on. Same with John Cena and Peacemaker. Should have just moved on from that stuff. And number two was the first poster, which we just talked about a little bit ago. Those are my two biggest issues that I've seen from him over this time. And I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you just move on and you accept it. Like, you either accept it or you don't. And I just accepted it because those aren't that big of issues.
Yeah.
You just kind of move on.
I was the exact opposite. I was actually happy he wasn't throwing certain things out. I said, you don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If something works, I'm more than happy to see it stick around.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, to each his own. Everybody has a differing opinion, and that's okay. Like, it is what it is. Like, to me, like I said, like, that's a very interesting way to say that. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's very interesting, kind of scary, but.
And you may remember, what is it, Casino Royale? That was. Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not a James Bond fan, but
how dare you?
I never have been. But Casino Royale was a reboot, right? None of the James Bond movies that
except for M.
Yeah, they brought her back, even though it was a new canon, new continuity.
But it's Dame Judi Dench. Come on. You don't just throw out Dame Judi Dench. Come on. Come on. No, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean, for sure. I get you. All right.